Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well. Gosh darn it, welcome back. That's right, for another installment of E.T.'s Film Review Top 10. Tonight considering Top 10 movie musicals, okay? A couple notes, we're going to get right into the Top 10. One, remember, coming up, Top 10 movie pets with my sweet Tori. And then, maybe a week and a half later or so, Top 10 film scores with my friend Hannah. There she is. Very good. Okay. Hey, say a little prayer for Hannah, who's going to Haiti this weekend with a group from her church. They're going to go minister there. So say a little prayer for their safety and protection, okay? I also mentioned, so we got pets, film scores, and then a walkthrough video, okay, of the house. That's coming. So just be patient with that, Mom. All right. Top 10 movie musicals. And on our list this evening are films that both were recreations of stage plays. The number one is a recreation, for example. But our number 10, I believe, was shot on screen first, and then became a stage play. So it goes back and forth, but the bottom line is the only really criteria for this category was that it be a musical that was a movie. That would, I mean, a movie that was a musical. I mean, however you want to look at it. So there are a lot of options and a lot of honorable mentions that I'm just not going to get to. Actually, I do have the list here, so at the end I'll do some honorable mentions, okay? And maybe tell you why some of those didn't make the list. So here, top 10 movie musicals. I'm just going to play a little excerpt and try and sing the best I can from each musical. And you can kind of guess at home before I have Vegas put up the photo. Can you handle that? That simple task. Can you handle that simple task? Yeah, I know. You can do it. Yes, you will. Are you going to fail blogging? Very good. He's a Twitter freak. He likes the Twitters, okay? And so there you go. So let's get right into it. There's no time to waste. Here we go. Number 10, okay? And we'll call this one out for Aunt Carol. Okay? This is a musical that she and I enjoy very much. And I wish that we had gone to the sing-along when it was out there at home. It would have been a lot of fun, okay? Oh, and by the way, did I say, I just have my guitar tonight. I don't have a piano with me, and so it's hard to approximate some of the parts which are really meant for piano on the guitar, so just bear with me. And I'm kind of nervous. I don't sing on YouTube a lot, so just, if I mess up, I'm not going to stop. I hope not anyway, so here we go. And if I did, you would never know, because you'd never see this video. Although I may or may not have already done this several times, because I was too... Okay, forget it. Guess mine is not the first heartbroken. My eyes are not the first to cry. I'm not the first to know. There's just no getting over you. I'm hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide, since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, and hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. And hopelessly devoted to you. Okay, Grease, all right, and of course we could just play. Summer loving happy. Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. What are we gonna do? Beauty school dropout. No, I'm sorry. All right, Grease. Now number 10, because I don't like it all that much, but you have so much iconic music coming out of this musical, one that has remained in the canon of performance and favorites, radio hits. There's that medley they play at bowling alleys, okay, and all the techno versions and all that stuff of these songs. Very endearing, and certainly to go back and watch John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John in these singing roles, it's so funny, but really enjoyable. Not the most moral musical, but that's kind of what you get in a lot of Broadway. So you take it or leave it. And it's okay if you leave it. That's okay too. I certainly enjoy it. As I mentioned, Aunt Carol, we sure like it. It's a fun one. I've known it for a long time growing up, a lot of the songs, and loved a lot of the songs. It's not my favorite, obviously, but it's good enough to be in the top 10. It's very endearing to me and to so many people around the world. I mentioned, along with a couple other musicals, but not very many, they have touring sing-alongs, you know, where they put the movie in the theater, but the lyrics are on the bottom of the screen, and then everyone gets to sing along. It's the one time that that's acceptable in theaters, although it should be more often. All right, number 9. This song, I mean, I know a lot of folks like this musical a lot. My friend Robin, she was really into it, I think high school time. And then somewhat recently, my friend Aaron, the little bro, we had some association with this with this song in particular. It's not a country song. It's just you'll figure it out. You know, I'll try this way. Keep going. Never knew I could feel like this, like I'd never seen the sky before. Want to vanish inside your kiss. Every day I love you more and more. Listen to my heart, can you hear it sing? It's telling me to give you everything. Seasons may change, winter to spring, but I love you till the end of time. Come on. That's right. Moulin Rouge. Now, I gotta say, I'm not crazy about this musical. Okay, kind of like Grease, and I guess I keep saying that. It's like, why would they be on the top 10? But I like what it did for a lot of music that had kind of gone by the wayside. And I appreciate the musical that came and tried to spruce up or enhance to some degree well-established songs. Now, they call these jukebox musicals, okay? Jukebox musicals. Rock of Ages just came out, right, with Alec Baldwin and Tom Cruise. A jukebox musical because it has a lot of jukebox music or music off the radio in a musical. Mamma Mia is sort of a jukebox musical, right, because it's all ABBA music. So here, in Moulin Rouge, we have some original music, like Come What May, right? Some original stuff, but then you also got Roxanne, okay? You got, you think the people would have had enough of silly love songs. So that D, not even close. G. I look around me and I see so, whoa, no. In that big love song medley, Your Song, okay? You got all that stuff. So a jukebox musical, but still very inventive, visually interesting. That captured a lot of folks' attention was the visual style, and certainly that director, whoever that person is, I can't remember their name, has gone on to do other noteworthy work in the visual realm. For me, I think most surprising was Ewan McGregor, and I thought, holy smokes, that's not Obi-Wan Kenobi, is it? And it was. And why does he not sing in any other movie? Okay, that's enough. Number 8. What's not? Oh, I already played this song for you in a previous video, and not a lot of folks know it. It's a lesser-known musical, but one that Mel and I certainly enjoyed in our childhood, and Mom and Dad did as well. I'll sing just a small part of this little lullaby that Dick Van Dyke sings. It's a dance man. Gentle breeze, hush of my mountain, softly blows a lullaby bay, fills the sails of boats that are waiting to sail your worries he's away. Isn't far. There you go. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Childhood favorite for myself, my sister, a lot of people. A point of somewhat mild terror now with the child catcher. Children, lollipops, ice cream. I've talked about that before. Yeah, Dick Van Dyke again. Okay, he was back, stellar performance, but somehow this musical just got lost. Probably because of a lot of other big musicals throughout at the same time. Because you're competing now with sort of the latter Rodgers and Hammerstein shows, a lot of big Broadway stuff at the time. So this one kind of got overlooked, but it's still a wonderfully exciting and endearing tale about childhood and you know, imagination, entrepreneurship, and love, acceptance. Okay, with a pretty good story, a pretty nifty magical car. You should check it out. Okay. Now, this. Okay. Let's see. You guess? That's not exactly how it goes in the movie. I'm taking a little bit of license, artistic license, whatever they call that, okay? Enough with the... Okay. Yeah, you're right. It sounds like, you can dance, every dance with the guy who gives you... No, it's not that. Although it's curious how much it... Why am I talking to you? I'm sorry, okay. Okay. Let's see, there you see her, sitting there across the way. She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. And you don't know why, but you're dying to try, you wanna kiss that girl. Can I sing another verse? Just the next part, okay? You sing too if you know it. 1, 2, 3, and yes, you want her. Look at her, you know you do. Possible she wants you to. There's one way to ask her. If you're tough with words, if you don't know how to say, articulate things very well, then this next part's for you. Because it won't take a word, not a single word. Go on and kiss the girl. Sing with me. Shut up. Okay, that's enough. The Little Mermaid. Now, the only reason why, well, there are several reasons. My sister will attest to why. I remember when we went and rented it from the store, and we came home, and I remember telling my mom, thank you so much. I don't know why I was so excited to see the movie, just that youthful child enthusiasm, right? And so I remember going into her and Dad's bedroom, and Mel and I laid on the couch and watching it, and just in awe of how awesome it was. Anyway, what this movie did, was it really sort of invigorated the whole musical scene, Broadway scene. And as you probably know, at the time, Broadway was pretty stale. You had Cats, and that was it. That's all that was really big on Broadway. And then The Little Mermaid came, and it blew the doors open for a whole new musical style that began what they now refer to as sort of a Disney Renaissance, because then you had Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Hunchback, Mulan, okay? Like hit after hit after hit from Disney. This is before Pixar, of course, you know? And so boom, 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 boom. And these were all like unabashed, unashamed musicals in the animated format. And it was unbelievable because they recaptured the spirit of what the classic Disney films had forever. Your Snow Whites and Sleeping Beauties and all that. And so now you had it in the late 80s, early 90s in unbelievable fashion. You had addictive music that people love to sing, and people still sing this music, okay? Sometimes when I'm playing around at the piano, and I kind of want to see if people are listening, I'll just play It's not quite like that, but you know what it is. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? You know, and you just play that and just see, and it's amazing how many people like, they'll sing along and immediately start singing. You know, it's incredible that such music has such long-standing power, and we see the same here in number 6. Okay, let's give that a try. If you look around the channel, you'll find a video by, actually I don't know if it's on this channel or not. Somewhere on the internet is a medley of me and my friend Kelly singing a medley of the songs from this musical. Think of me fondly when we said goodbye. I think I was flat. I'm sorry, I cannot hear it right. Remember me every so often. Promise me to try. On that day, that not so distant day, when you are far away and free. If you ever find a moment, spare a thought for me. Phantom of the Opera. Not a lot more has to be said about this than holy smokes. And of course, the Phantom had already proved itself so many times as a stage play on Broadway before it ever hit the screen. And then it did hit the screen with Gerard Butler, who, of course, this is before he had come into great fame with 300 and movies like that. I mean, he was already a somewhat well-known actor, but holy smokes, he was there and he was singing and it was unbelievable. He did such a great job. Gosh darn it. Again, rich, vibrant cinematography in the telling of this tale. Some things maybe were missed, and indeed, it's no comparison to seeing it in person. If you haven't seen it, get out there, get to the theater in general. I beg you to see these shows. But it was still a tremendous interpretation of an unbelievable musical. And then, oh, what's it called? Would you look at and find the sequel? Love Never Fails, is that what it's called? I know he has a picture up, but I don't know, I can't. Obviously, we know it's an illusion. You didn't know that? No, just never mind. So, and Andrew Lloyd Webber, based on the popularity, wrote another musical, that continues the story. So, a pretty tremendous effort. And one that, again, has lasted for a long time and will continue to last for a long time. And you got, in every spring, at a spring choir concert somewhere in the world, or two, trembling sophomores singing, "No more talk of darkness, forget these wide-eyed fears, I'm here," something like that. Or, "You were once my one companion," whatever it is, okay? But of course, that's a little funky. Okay, let's move on here. Number 5. All right. This is really different. I don't know if this feels different for you, but this particular video feels so different because the music and I'm nervous and okay, I gotta stop saying that. I'm gonna get more nervous. But this is one of my favorite. You know what it is? Little shop of horrors, little shop of terrors, color top, little shop of horrors, no. Little shop of horrors, little shop of terrors, color top, little shop of horrors, no. Now, not a lot of folks have seen this musical because, again, it was sort of a quick run on Broadway and then it sort of got forgotten. But they did make a movie of it, and it's not bad. And if you want to see Rick Moranis sing, this is your opportunity. Also, a really interesting Christopher Guest cameo in the movie, okay? Oh, also, Adam, I've not forgotten, Steve Martin. He'll be undressed. A fun musical. The second collaboration, or the second collaborative effort between Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, and those guys, of course, went on to write the music for Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and so forth. Of course, to some degree, Howard Ashman passed away right after they had won the Oscars for Beauty and the Beast, unfortunately. But this was their second big collaboration. The first, what was it called? The first musical. Would you bring that up, please? Thanks. So after that, then they had Little Shop of Horrors, which was very lighthearted, but funny, dark in some places. Just a trip, a Planet from Outer Space and all this stuff. I guess I mentioned they did film it, and I think they filmed it in like a week or 5 days or something. The whole musical, just like that, because they already had the tracks down, and then they just film the action and they lip sync back to the pre-recorded tracks and all that. So if you've not seen it, check it out. It might be, I don't know, I think Labyrinth is on Netflix, but not Those Shop Wars. Check it out. If you've not seen it, get over to Netflix, get over to Hulu, Amazon Prime. It's really fun. It's not very long. There's some kind of nice moments and some neat musical ideas in it, including that. Also, kind of a neat idea. Alan Menken uses a trio of well, I don't know how to say it. I don't even know how you say it with musicians, but it's three black women, you know, who sing in this awesome, like tight, sort of a doo-wop harmony, but they serve the function of like the Greek chorus in the old tragedies. And so it was just curious how they employed them in the music, and they keep appearing over and over again, and they lead you through the story. So there you go. No Shop of Horrors. Let's move on, please. Pronto. What's next? Fa la 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 la. Oh yes. Can you guess? I know there are a million songs that sound like that. This one is Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim to me. A sweet is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim to. Good Lord above, if I'll shake hands with you, I'll blow me a kiss. And that's lucky too. Mary Poppins. A lot of songs could play from that musical. I like that one because I just like the Van Dyke. I just like that. I'll blow me a kiss. And that's lucky too. That's fun. It's a fun song. Mary Poppins. Again, we had Dick Van Dyke, established career as a musician and a performer, and then there she was, Julie Andrews. And this was kind of a real big, super, super big first role. This was before The Sound of Music. It was after she had done a TV version of Cinderella by Rodgers and Hammerstein, or Rodgers and Hart, whoever it was. And so here you had her talent, and you had the talent of, again, established, profound musician and entertainer Dick Van Dyke. I said that. And there they were together on screen. Two great kids, fantastic ensemble, infectious music. I mean, I love getting into these musicals and thinking about it. Of course, you remember Spoonful of Sugar and Chim Chimney and Step in Time, Step in Time, Step in Time. I love to laugh, but it goes on and on. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, and Stay Awake, and on it goes, and all these really memorable tunes that are buried in these musicals, and a super duper fun story. Was she a witch? I don't know. Number 3, I need to get my capo. Oh, wait, hold on. I like to get my capo on this guitar. I'm very particular. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Oh, another guitar. This is my bad string. That's okay. The song, arguably, one of the most recognized and beloved songs in the whole canon of music. I mean, arguably, you know, especially American music. And then in the 80s, I think, maybe the 90s, it was recorded by a fellow who put a little different spin on it. So I want to play that different spin. I don't have my ukulele here. That gives it away, I think. It's an organ, but if I did, I would play the ukulele. So this uses this same, forget it. He uses the capo 5 on the guitar, and if you play these strings, the 4 strings, the D, G, B, E strings, that's a ukulele tuning. Here's how it sounds, okay? Ooh, 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 somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I dreamed of once in a lullaby. High on somewhere rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. On it goes, okay? That's right. The Wizard of Oz. I mean, come on. Maybe you read the review on the blog that I did about this movie, musical, and I thought, I never realized it until like 4 or 5 years ago, not even that, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever, that, you know the song that the characters sing? If I only had a brain, if I only had a heart, if I only, you know, it's the same song. I just had never put that together, that it was the same song, because the preludes to it are different, you know, if I really could, you know, like all that stuff, like the way they get into the song is different, but the song is the same. And I just don't know how I never realized that, because I'm a fool, I don't know, but I think that's so interesting, that it kind of even grounds for reflection, you know, that they're all looking for different things, but they sing the same song. Isn't that kind of how it is for you and I? We're all kind of looking for things, but our lives are the same. Same flesh, same blood, you know, same air that we breathe, and we're all kind of looking for this different things. So anyway, enough of that. That's for video. That seemed kind of spacey too, that way of thinking anyway. Okay, but what a tremendous, tremendous project Wizard of Oz was. Of course, I think what's so fun about it, in part, is all the folklore that surrounds it. Certainly, you're probably aware of the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon thing, and if you're not, then you've got to go look at it on Google. The lunatic is on the bus. Or, you know, I learned this chord, I gotta stop, I gotta go get it, but so any color you like. The Dark Side of the Moon. Anyway, what am I trying to say? I'm wasting a minute doing nothing. But if you start Dark Side of the Moon, right when the lion roars the second time on the Wizard of Oz movie, if you start the album and the movie right there, and they play together, and like the stuff they're talking about in the album is like identical, like sickly identical to the movie. And Roger Waters and David Gilmour have both attested. They said it was not intentional. It just happened out that way, worked out that way. And then, you know, you can see the actor, the Munchkin, who hung himself on camera in one scene, apparently. I don't know about that stuff, okay? But, I mean, again, I've used the word timeless several times now in this video, and if there's a timeless musical, that's it, okay? 2 more. Let's try and get through this. I'm sorry for taking so long. This is off play one. Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me. Music along. You bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. So, Sound of Music. Did you know that was the last song that Richard Rodgers ever wrote. They had finished production, and they needed one more song, a real sweet song to fill in kind of in a part of the film. And so he went back and he sat at the piano and he wrote the simple, I mean, you saw my hands, it uses 5 chords, G major, I don't know what else original key it was written in. A lot of folks think it's actually a national song, and it's not. It's an American ballad written by an American songwriter, Edelweiss, you know. It doesn't belong to Austria or anything like that. It belongs to Rodgers and Hammerstein. But I remember seeing this musical in our little hometown theater, Little Theater on the Bay, when I was a boy. We went with the family, and even at the time I was like, man, this is something special. And then to see the movie later on, and Julie Andrews, gosh darn it, and Christopher Plummer, who just finally won that supporting actor Oscar after so many years, and to see him and to think back to that, you know, and what a trip. And then to have learned, I watched a documentary on the actual Von Trapp family and how they came to America during the war. They fled to America and sought sanctuary here and refuge. And they were a family band, and they toured around, and they had a real history. It's really interesting, though. You should read into it. I don't want to say too much to ruin it for anyone, but check that out. It's an incredible glance into the real family, the real Von Trapp family that escaped and came to America and did all these things. Okay, we're down to one more. Just one more. So there's no sense taking our time. I need to cape over this one to be faithful to the key. I need a little drink too, a Diet Coke. Okay. You know, it helps a little bit. Tastes pretty good. Yeah, I'll just play it. Okay. Make of our hands one hand. Make of our hearts one heart. Make of our vows one last vow. Only death will part us now. That's right. West Side Story. Of course, based on the classic, I mean, can you say classic, Romeo and Juliet? And here you had, I mean, you had Leonard Bernstein in the first place, okay? And so you didn't need anything else beyond that. But then you had Jerome Robbins, who brought in unbelievable dance choreography for numbers like, what was it? Well, I can't, but you know, cool, and you had a Aaron, what was that song that we sang? We did with Raindrops on Roses, and we put it in a medley with something else. What was it? Oh yeah, it was major, yeah. I feel pretty. Oh gosh, that was that right? Whatever. I feel pretty. I'm embarrassing myself. Oh my gosh, I gotta get this over with. Anyway, song. I gotta put the guitar away. I don't play anymore. Song after song hits, okay, and then Lenny Bernstein goes on to compose a suite of the songs, which is still performed all the time, especially by like youth orchestras and stuff. And then, what musical do they do in Glee? West Side Story, okay? It has a big deal, and the music perpetuates itself. The movie itself, Oscar decorated time and time again, okay? If you follow Leonard Bernstein, who's dead, of course, but if you follow him on Facebook, you'll see all the time they're performing this all over the world. And it stands on its own, not only because of the plot, which, again, Romeo and Juliet, which you see the star-crossed dynamic in so many stories that have lasted, but because the music is so exciting and endearing. And it came from a time in American music when you sort of had that strange convergence between, like there's a lot of jazz, like kind of like Chet Atkins kind of time, you know, just one jazz player, but then you had all this like country and country rock rock that was starting to come up, and then still, obviously, the rock and roll movement, you know. All of this stuff was crunched into this musical, and it's all there. Rock and roll, and then, of course, the exciting duple meter, America, and then the super duper sweet, you know, ballads here. Make of our hands one hand, and the most beautiful sound I ever heard, Maria, Maria, you know. On and on it goes. Like with Mary Poppins, you get in there and you think, oh, this is a pretty good song, this is a pretty good song. But in the end, in the West Side Story, I mean, every song is a masterpiece, pretty much. And like they said about Mozart, only in Mozart do you find every song to be a masterpiece. And so that is the case here in West Side Story. And I couldn't think of a different musical to have as my #1. There was never really any contest, although Sound of Music tried pretty hard. But quickly, we're over a half an hour. Gosh darn it. This was not, I didn't feel like this was the best. I'm sorry. But, you know, anyway, some honorable mentions really quick. Put them up just real fast. 1776, you've probably never seen it, but it's fun. Chicago, you got it coming, all right? Singing in the Rain. Now, just to be clear, AFI has Singing in the Rain as their #1 of all. I've never seen it. I know what you're going to say. How could you have not seen it? I just haven't seen it. To be fair, it's on the shelf in Oregon, just waiting for me to watch, but I've never seen it, so I cannot say. Sweeney Todd, I've only seen it once, but Aaron, I appreciated what's in there. That's Sondheim or Schwartz. But a different, new kind of musical, okay, a new approach. And Labyrinth with David Bowie, which is super fun. But that's also a testament to Jim Henson's commitment to musicals as well. One last thought about musicals, and then I'll be done, hopefully. You think of opera, right? And you think of Marriage of Figaro and the Magic Flute and all of that kind of stuff. And certainly if you know more about opera, then you're thinking of like the great tragics, you know, Romeo and Juliet and all of this, and Tristan and Isolde and all the Wagner, the Ring Cycle and all this stuff. And in a lot of those old operas, you had mythical, fantastic plot lines, you know, dragons and beasts and magic rings and all of this stuff, okay? That's what you had. And then, you know, especially when the opera and the musical came to America, it took on a very different shape. And you have Rodgers and Hart and a lot of that stuff, Rodgers and Hammerstein doing, you know, musicals that are not fantastic at all, but modern day. Certainly that's where Bernstein's strength was in his musicals, Trouble in Tahiti, New York, New York, or On the Waterfront, West Side Story, you know, they were just, not On the Waterfront, excuse me, I'm sorry, but West Side Story, you know, plain, simple, real-life musicals. But now, look what we're seeing, a turn back to the fantastic. Sweeney Todd, okay, kind of plain, but sort of fantastical, okay, mysterious, magical even, wicked, especially. Whoa, I mean, in The Wizard of Oz, you know, you feel like it could have been a musical that Mozart would have written as an opera, right? Especially with all the witch play and all that stuff in there. It feels just like it. What else is there that's, you know, and something like Lion King, a lot of the Disney, you know, shows that have come to Broadway. These are fantastic, epic, magical experiences, just like the operas were in days of old. And so it's curious that we're seeing this sort of return to that old form, that old style, that people want to go to the theater to escape their lives, to go into a magical land for a little while and to forget about what's going on. And that's sort of the joy of what the musical is. And the joy of what music can be as well. It can offer us an escape, not only from difficult times, but ourselves, okay? All right, well, at least we're going to finish under 40 minutes by only a couple seconds. Nothing else to say right now, but keep watching, okay? Next week and a half, top 10 film pets, top 10 film scores, and again, let me know in the comment section below, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, I don't care where. Let me know what you want to see coming up for my little birthday treat for you, top 10 suggestions, okay? My throat is very sore, so I'm going to drink the rest of my Diet Coke and recline for the evening. I bid you adieu. Thanks, friends. Bye.